But Nick Mesa has been to see exotic plants of a very different type. And what he found really truly is breathtaking.
I'm at Kells Bay, Kerry, where the local climate and conditions come together to create a very special garden. A few weeks ago, I promised you a rainforest. Well, that's what I've come here to see. Kells Bay Garden is on the extreme southwestern tip of Ireland and covers 18 hectares. It's very naturalistic in style, thanks to a late Victorian craze for wild-looking gardens. They mix native and exotic plants together informally under the shelter of trees. The garden lies in a coastal valley which follows the course of a beautiful river which flows out to the sea. Even the river looks like it's flowing with Guinness. The water stained brown by peat which lies on the rain-drenched mountains that lie inland. With up to 2 meters of rain falling every year, the climate here just about qualifies as temperate rainforest. And parts of the garden really do look like a jungle. In the mild, moist atmosphere, plants here don't just grow on the ground, they grow on each other. Here, a group of native ferns jostle for position as epiphytes. Epiphytes are adapted for an aerial lifestyle. They perch on the branches of trees and shrubs, but are not parasites. They absorb moisture from humid air and often send their roots into damp moss instead of soil. Mosses and ferns blanket the trees and the rocks here, creating a living emerald carpet, just as they do in the forests of Costa Rica or New Zealand. For me, of all the plants that hail from rainforests, the most evocative and spectacular are tree ferns. And here at Kells Bay, they thrive in a way almost unequalled in the British Isles. But through the gates to this walled garden lies something I think most of you have never seen before. Here, for starters, is a tree fern that is growing out of the wall. This has come here from a spore, a minuscule spore. It has germinated within the wall. And what's so fascinating is that this trunk is not made of wood. It's made entirely of roots. This is something you just do not see in garden centre bought tree fern trunks. This is thriving, absolutely thriving in this perfect atmosphere for the growth of such beauties. Here is something quite extraordinary. Over 600 tree ferns, all over a century old. They just go on and on and on. This is a sight you would only really see in the temperate rainforests of Southeast Australia and Tasmania. In the British Isles, remarkable. These are all the species Dicksonia antarctica, the tree fern you are most likely to see in a garden centre. It's hardy down to around -10 Celsius for short periods and needs sheltered, humid and dappled shade to thrive in a garden. Billy Alexander is the garden's owner. Lucky man. So, what got you so interested in tree ferns?
Well, I bought a small tree fern at a plant fair in Dublin around the mid-90s, and it just captured my imagination as a plant. And a few years later, this property came on the market in the early 2000s, and I bought this property, and I'm now the proud custodian of probably the biggest tree fern forest in the Northern Hemisphere.
Of all the gardens I've been to, I have never seen tree ferns planted to this sort of extent. What is the story behind this?
Well, my understanding is this tree fern here is about 120 years old, planted in the 1890s, And we believe that this is the mother plant of the tree fern forest outside there, which comprises about 4 to 5 acres of hundreds and hundreds of mature tree ferns, all over 12 foot tall.
So you're telling me that the entire garden and estate has been populated by this one tree fern?
Yes, this is the one.
Who would have thought one tree fern could spawn 1,000 and fill an entire garden?